I built a personal assistant that completely runs on my computer, is running on Claude Opus 4.5, support voice mode, and can do basically anything that I would want to do in task management and even more things as I want to extend it without writing a single line of code. Of course, the tool that you are able to see right now is completely wipe coded, but let me show you a glimpse of how it works. Before you move forward, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hype the video, and let's start. Hey, can you schedule a dentist appointment for 2 p.m. today?
Done. I've scheduled your dentist appointment for 2 p.m. today.
Can you remind me to check my email in 10 seconds?
Got it. I'll remind you to check your email in 10 seconds. Hey, time to check my email.
Alright, so this is an app that actually allows me to manage my tasks completely using voice, adds it on my local system, and is able to send me reminders in form of a voice message directly on the system itself. And there are a bunch of interesting things that I have taken as a decision, so I want to discuss how this app exactly works. So see, when you're creating a voice app in the AI world, the core idea is two things: text to speech and speech to text. Text to speech basically means what your LLM said converts into actual speech that we are hearing. Speech to text means what you are speaking gets converted into text over here. Now the core idea is extremely simple. What you do whenever you are creating these voice applications like I showed you is you take your speech, which is what you are speaking, you convert it to text over here, you pass this text as a request inside LLM, you get the response in the text itself, and then you use text to speech to actually just get a speech of the LLM itself, and then you just blast that through your speakers. That is the core pipeline for everything that you're about to do. But we'll be going deep into how this specific application works, what are some tricks and tips and optimizations and products that I have used which makes it possible, and how you can build that as well. So let's start with this part where text is converted into speech, which is the most important part because you want a system which is low latency, which sounds very much like human, not like robotic voice, and which can support multiple languages. Right now I just showed you an example in English, but you might not want it in English. You might want it in Hindi or any of your regional language. In that case, you should use Inworld's text-to-speech 1.5 max model. They have not updated the photo likely on the homepage, but you can see over here in the navigation bar that they have this text-to-speech 1.5 model, which is their latest model. It works extremely well. That is what I'm using in this app, and I'll show you like the demo and the working of this app on a code level as well eventually. But this is a model which gives you a P90 latency of 250 milliseconds, and if you use like a smaller model like 1.5 mini, you get the latency even lower. I am currently using the max model because it provides the highest quality output, but if you are even more latency sensitive, you can use like a lower model as well. This is also extremely cheap because if you look at this, it costs you like 1 cent per minute. So you can technically have like an hour conversation, like a complete 1 hour conversation going on, and it will cost you only 60 cents, which is extremely affordable if you think about it, because any application that you're developing, whether that's, an AI companion or maybe like an interviewer application or something, you can probably charge users more than 60 cents per hour. Anyway, so coming back to the text to speech part, this is where we use Inworld.ai models over here to convert the text that we are getting from the LLM into speech. And looking at the speech to text part, this is where something we can use directly is the web speech API. So Google Chrome actually gives a web speech API, which is a built-in API inside Chrome itself that actually is not a local API, right? So under the hood, this API technically uses Google. So your data is technically going to Google, so you have to remember that. But inside Chrome, specifically inside Chrome, not even Chromium, inside just Chrome, this API is provided free of cost by Google, right? So when I go here and when I click on this microphone and when I start to say something and the text appears, that speech to text API is actually going through Google servers and it just returns me the text, right? Let's try this out. Hey, can you create 2 reminders for me? First of all is just remind me to check my emails in an hour, and second of all, remind me to just check my Slack in 2 hours. And as you can see, the API itself is not really good because it made like a bunch of problems there.
Got it. I'll remind you to check your emails in 1 hour and to check your flag in 2 hours.
So as you can see, it got the Slack word wrong. It just used flag because obviously Google is not using the best models that they have for speech to text. But for our use case, it works fine for now. So our journey starts here where we send the data to Google. Google gives us back text from our speech. We got this. We feed this into an LLM. Now here is where Claude Code code comes into picture. And the reason I say Claude Code and not even just, Claude Opus or whatever is because I am literally using Claude Code in this. I think some of you would really like this architecture. So what's going on here? Let me jump into the code base now. Let's take a look inside code base over here, right? So we have a typical standard setup over here. This Electron is just, I was trying something, but it's not an Electron app. So you see inside SRC, we have a client and server architecture, and inside server, we have these bunch of files, right? By the way, this code would be in the description, so you can just download and start playing around it as well. I have a couple of things to mention, so stick around and I'll let you know like how you can use or extend on top of this code. So you see what's going on here effectively is over here, we have a front end that does all this work, of the screen and everything. And this is connected to a backend, which is running locally, right? You can technically deploy it. I would not recommend it because it's not like deployable ready right now. But this front end connects to this backend over here over WebSocket, right? And for speech to text, like I already mentioned, for speech to text, we have Web Speech API, which is built in. It's free of cost inside Chrome browsers itself. For text to speech, because we need a nice quality output, we use Inworld AI. They have some of the best models right now. And for the LLM part, we actually invoke Claude from the CLI itself, right? Because remember that the backend is actually running on your own computer. That means you can use Claude from the CLI itself to send it message and get a message back. If you did not know about this, there is one interesting technique inside Claude, which is using this P flag. So if you have this P flag and if you pass a message, what will happen is that Claude code, instead of like actually giving its whole full UI and everything and all of that, it'll operate basically in a very minimal mode, right? So we basically exploit this fact of Claude Code. If you have Claude Code subscription, you can just use and build a lot of local apps that can use LLM internally by using Claude inside CLI directly. So if you look at this claude.ts file, you will see that here I have created basically sort of like a system prompt. Now, obviously this is not really a system prompt because you're not passing system prompt here. It's just a regular message. But if you do it with a smart enough model like Opus 4.5, it would obey your instructions, right? So look at this prompt over here, which is again not constructed by me, only by the LLM. So it gives the tasks for today. It gives upcoming tasks as well. It gives it a bunch of capabilities, which is like single action, multiple actions, available actions. It's basically tool calling in a way, reminder actions, and it has like a bunch of rules, right? So what effectively it's doing is that if we look at this build system prompt, you will see that finally once the system prompt is built and conversation is done, we are calling Claude P directly inside of the system itself, right? And if you look at my Claude over here, you will see that I'm already on Claude Max Opus 4.5, right? So this is the best model that we have. So it should not be a problem in making this a great experience for the end user. Now, of course, this is not the best TypeScript code because again, this is written by a bunch of AI agents, but this at least works. The code that you find in the description, you just have to change your Inworld API key and secret, which you'll be able to find as follows. So when you're signing up on Inworld, it's actually pretty easy to get started. You just have to log in, create a free account, you get a bunch of free credits, and you will be presented into this dashboard where you have to just create a couple of API keys over here. So if I generate a key here in write mode for voices and generate it, you will find these base64 JWT key and JWT secret. What you want effectively is the key, secret, and the workspace ID over here, right? And you will find this file inside your Git history. I'll also come with this env file, and of course I'll just delete these credentials by the time you're seeing this video so you don't get any ideas. But the setup is dead simple because you have this playground over here which you can first of all figure out like what voices and stuff that you want. From a model point of view, I would recommend just going with 1.5 max. This is the best model out there right now. And once you're satisfied with the voices, you'll be able to build this application, an application like this. Now the task that I want to give you guys and something that you should think about is that it's actually extremely easy for you to link or extend this application to also read your emails. Now, how would you go about that? See, Claude already has access to the computer, right? So you can see that in this prompt, in basically this ask Claude function, what we are doing is that we are effectively giving the whole instruction set to Claude Opus 4.5, and it's doing, because it's using Claude P, it can do a bunch of tool calls internally and it can just return you the result back, right? So you don't have to manually implement the logic of, how the tool calls and stuff would work, because this itself is an agent. For example, inside this Claude P, let's say if I give an instruction, create a folder in this directory named and let's say I pass it the dangerously flag as well. And you see that it only gives me the response back as created the Mehul folder in this current directory, which now exists. But it's so powerful because it's also able to, in the background, take the actions for me, right? So I don't have to explicitly define that in my Node.js code that, okay, hey, if Claude is trying to do something on the CLI, let me hijack that action, do that stuff and, do that. As a matter of fact, I would also argue and say that this whole thing can be just simplified by giving this SQLite DB DB file path to Claude directly and asking it to make the modifications, which is slightly dangerous. Of course, you don't want the agent to act on your database directly. So this tool calling sort of is still safer, but I'm just saying that's possible. Similarly, what you can do is you can look at projects like this Gmail CLI, which is this GOG CLI, right? Which is effectively like a very active project. GOG CLI, Google in your terminal, which allows you to link like a bunch of Google products directly inside CLI, which is a heaven for Claude code, right? So effectively, if you install this and set this up and you modify this prompt over here to also support emails, what you can effectively do is go to your agent, ask it that, hey, task manager, just go through my emails for the last 2 hours, 3 hours and create a to-do list for me. Basically, you are just creating a plan by delegating the research and the search work to Claude, which then internally does all the work. And because it's combined to your Inworld's AI, it will not only be able to, you can not only operate this completely on voice, but it will remind you in terms of notifications and voice mode directly. So if I clear this off, let's say if I give you an example from scratch, can you remind me to check my emails in 10 seconds?
Got it. I'll remind you to check your emails in 10 seconds.
And as you will be able to see, within 10 seconds, I'll not only get a notification, but also a voiceover call.
Hey, time to check my emails.
Now this sends a notification. This also announces it on my computer. And this will obviously work even if this tab is closed because it's coming from the system, from the server itself, not from the client, right? So you could be working on different applications, doing different stuff. It'll still work. And of course, if you click back on this, you will be taken back and it'll start listening again and it'll just create tasks, right? So which is something that you don't want for now. But anyway, the thing is that it's so easy to create these applications now that I recommend that you create these agents for yourself. All you need are some good platforms and providers like Inworld, which help you perform state-of-the-art operations on text-to-speech, and you can make it, link it with a powerful LLM with your system and make anything possible. So again, as I mentioned, the homework for you, if you want to extend this further and play around with this, is implement a Gmail-based CLI here and create on top of this so that you can ask the voice agent itself that, hey, check my emails and create a to-do list for me. You can go beyond. You can go to WhatsApp. You can, add your family messages as one of the sources that check if I have to do anything. You can add your Slack. And finally, you can also automate this. So every day you have like a fresh list of to-do work, very relevant to your what's happening in your Slack, work life, personal life, emails, all of that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and do check out Inworld, which is the sponsor of the video as well, to support the channel and check out their best text-to-speech models.